Here's a hard question to open with. When was the last time you changed your mind about something that mattered? Not a small preference. Something you had argued for, in public, in front of people whose respect you wanted. If you can't remember, that should worry you. Because a man who never changes his mind isn't strong. He's blind. Charles Darwin understood this better than almost anyone who ever lived. He spent more than 20 years building the theory of evolution, piece by careful piece. And while he built it, he followed one strange rule that most men would never accept. Whenever Darwin met a fact that argued against his own theory, he wrote it down immediately. Not later, immediately. Why the urgency? Because he had noticed something humbling about his own mind. Facts that flattered his theory stuck around on their own. Facts that threatened it slipped away and were forgotten, quietly, within hours. His memory was loyal to his ego, and he knew it. Sit with that for a second. One of the greatest minds in scientific history did not trust himself to remember inconvenient truths. He treated his own brain like a biased witness. And that suspicion, that discipline of arguing against himself, is a big part of why his work survived every attack thrown at it for over a century. Now, hold up the other kind of man. You know him. Maybe some days you are him. He decides first and gathers evidence second. Every article he reads happens to agree with him. Every person who challenges him is an idiot with an agenda. His opinions haven't changed since he formed them, and he calls that consistency. Look closer, and consistency is just the paint on a locked door. Psychologists have a name for the machine behind that door. Confirmation bias. Your mind hunts for whatever supports what you already believe, and it quietly buries the rest. Nobody is exempt. Not scientists, not judges, not you. The question is never whether you have the bias. The question is whether you've built anything to fight it. And here's why this matters for your life, not just for science. Most men don't lose to the facts. They lose to their need to be right. The business owner who ignores 3 straight quarters of bad numbers because the plan was his idea. The investor who reads only the bulls after he buys. The husband who rehearses his defense instead of hearing the complaint. In every case, the information was right there. The ego just refused delivery. So how does a man actually see clearly? Not by trying to feel neutral. Feelings don't take orders. You see clearly by building habits that force the other side of the argument into the room. Start with Darwin's rule. When you're committed to something, a plan, a position, a big purchase, and you meet a fact that cuts against it, write it down the moment you meet it. Your ego wants that fact to disappear. Don't let it. A man who keeps a written record of the evidence against his own position has done something rare. He's made his ego negotiate in the open. Then go one step further and run what some strategists call a pre-mortem. Before you commit, sit down and imagine it's 1 year later, and the decision failed completely. Now write the story of why. You'll be shocked how quickly the reasons come. Those reasons were in your head the whole time. The pre-mortem just gives them permission to speak before the failure, instead of after. And when someone disagrees with you, try the hardest discipline of all. Before you answer, state their argument back to them, so well that they'd say, "Yes, That's exactly what I mean. Most men can't do it. They've been too busy loading their reply to actually hear the position. If you can't state the other side fairly, you don't disagree with it yet. You just dislike it. Understand what's actually at stake here, because it's bigger than being right in arguments. Every blind spot you protect costs you twice. Once when reality arrives with the bill, and once more for every year you paid interest on the lie. The man who audits his beliefs pays small and early. The man who defends them pays large and late. There's a strange freedom on the other side of this. When your identity stops living inside your opinions, nobody can threaten you by disproving one. You become very hard to manipulate and very quick to adapt because you update while other men defend. So take one belief you've held for years, one with real stakes, and spend 10 minutes tonight honestly trying to take it apart. Write down the strongest case against it that you can build. If the belief survives, you'll hold it with real confidence instead of borrowed stubbornness. And if it doesn't survive, congratulations! You just beat every man who's still guarding a locked door. Argue against yourself before the world does it for you.